Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to dye fiber. This is sweetkittycrafts and I hope you will enjoy what I'm going to show you today. There are lots of ways to dye fiber or yarn, but I really enjoyed this method, so I'm going to show you how I do this. First of all, what you see here is a pot of water and I'm going to add some citric acid. I'm going to use acid dyes, so you need acid, some kind of acid, to bind the pigments to the yarn. You also can use vinegar, but I don't like the smell of vinegar and wool. So this is just 2 spoons of citric acid. I've got an old crock pot or slow cooker I bought from the second-hand store, so that's very handy, because if you don't use superwash fiber, it can felt or be very compacted. The setup I've got over here is there's a pot with water and fiber, which is BFL, and I've got some high glossy fire star nylon. On the other side of the slow cooker is my sink. So if you don't have a sink near to your stove, you can put a big pot on the other side where my sink is. So I want to dye some yarn with some striping effect. So if you're going to spin it up, you got a self-striping yarn. So I'm going to use acid dyes, and I think I'm going to use some some grey and purple, maybe violet, and I'm going to put on some gloves, because no matter how careful you are, you're bound to get some stuff into your hands, and yeah, just for safety precautions you better do not want that. I've got some very tiny little measuring spoons, which are very handy. You don't really have to pre-mix your dyes, yeah, because we're just gonna lay it in the pot. If you count the amount you're going to put in, you are going to get the same color every repeat, so that might be a good idea. I'm starting with 3 little measuring spoons full. I'm just going to stir the thing a bit. If you want exactly the same size of repeats, it would be handy to mark your fiber, maybe with a little knot or some kind of string, so you know how much fiber to put in your pot, and then switch to the other half. I'm just gonna grab some and lay it in here. I've got 100 grams, but I'm not really concerned on how much fiber there will be in every repeat, because when you're going to spin it up, you really are very flexible about how it's going to turn out. It's already looking a very nice color. If you want some fire star in the same color, you can just put it in there. Fire star is really a nylon, and it will absorb acid dyes very good. If you want to dye cotton, you're out of luck, because you can't dye those with acid dyes. This is how it's going to stay for how long it takes till the water is clear. I've got a lid with this slow cooker. What I'm going to put on is going to make some steam, and we'll set it maybe a bit faster. Just be careful, it's not going to cook, but I know this is not going to cook very soon, so I can leave it for now, and I will be back until the water's clear, and then we will proceed with this tutorial. Okay, well, about 10 minutes have passed now, and if you can see, the water is clear, so we can proceed with the next section. As you can see, the nylon has absorbed the color very differently than the BFL. That is how it works actually. So I'm going to put this a little bit over to the sink. It's going to drip there. Find the beginning. Yeah. So I'm just going to move this stuff over to the sink. And now we can add a new color. I'm going to put on my gloves. When you're using different kind of colors, not every color is as strong as the other one was. So some kind of color needs more pigment. So I used 3 spoons of the purple. I'm gonna use 6 of the grey because I don't want the grey to be too pale. And I've decided to add a little bit of orange, but the repeat of orange will be much smaller, and I will be adding a very little bit of a tiny bit of pigment. So it will be a kind of little bit of peachy color. So now we're going to put the roving in, and do it by eye as much as I like. And this will be a nice transition over here because the water will go up a little bit and carry the pigment with it, and this way there will be a nice transition and not a very hard line. So if you want a hard line, this will not be the technique you're going to use. You're not going to be using the hand painting technique, that you put the fiber onto plastic wrap and paint it with a sponge brush and then set it in the microwave. That's another technique which is much fun, but I was just in the mood to do it this way. You can already see there's coming a nice color. It will be very cool together. Always bear in mind that when the yarn is dry, it's going to be much lighter than when it is when you see it in the pot. You already can see this. The water's getting out, so it's already lighter than it looked before. But you also can see the difference between the nylon and the wool. So this will be fun. Yeah, I'm going to cover this one up again. And I'll see you back in a little bit. Okay, this color really went fast because it's already clear. You can see clearly the difference between the nylon and the BFL again. So that's interesting to see. So now we're going to move the stuff over again. Pulling it towards the sink. Okay, just let it hang there like a little bridge. Okay. A little bit of dripping. You can see when the water is dripping out, the color is getting lighter already. So for safety, I'm going to put on my gloves again. And now we're going to do the orange peach section. And after that's done, I've done all the 3 colors I wanted to use. So I'm going to finish the rest of it off camera. And then when I'm done, I'm going to show you how to wash the yarn. And then we're going to let it dry. And there will be a the final section on if you want to braid it, how you're going to do that. And yeah, just to finishing up. So this was only 1 little spoon. And we're going to see if that's enough. If it's not enough, you can always add more. But I just want a small orange section, because no matter what I'm going to make, I do not want a very large section of the orange part. So the idea of coloring the nylon is you can add the nylon when you're spinning, and it will make your yarn stronger. So if you want to spin it with the BFL, you already got the same repeats in there, so that will be fun. Just gonna see if it's not going to turn too dark, because I'm gonna remove it earlier then. Yeah, I think, well, I'm gonna show it how it works. I think it's already got enough color, so I'm gonna remove it before it gets too dark. And I know, because the orange is the third part, there's gonna be an orange section all the way at the back of the roving. So I'm gonna find the part of the roving that's all the way on the outer side, and I'm gonna put that in. And I can put in between the grey and the purple again, because I just don't want it too dark. Yeah, there will be just a little bit of tail. And then when it's done, you can see that's going to be handy if you marked the spots where the color repeats will be, because now I got to do it by eye, and that's not a problem. But yeah, you can see what difference it would make if you would exactly know where to start and where to end. And what I mean is, by marking it off, if you got 100 grams and you want 4 repeats, you're gonna divide the whole length by 4. And what I do then is, just in the middle third, I made a little bit of a slip knot, and then the half you're going to divide again, and when you put it in, just as you get at the knot, you're going to remove it, and you know there's going to be starting a new section. So I hope that makes a bit of sense. So let's hope this won't turn out too bright, and if it does, well, we just got to learn to live with it. But you can see the difference, you know, just 1 little spoon of the orange, and you're going to use 5 spoons of the grey to just get a little bit of color. And here I can show you the grey. It's pretty light, and the orange is a very nice match with the grey, but you wouldn't know, don't want to see it when it got 5 orange in there, because it will be so very dark. So we got grey, orange and purple together, and the fire star is much brighter, so it would be a good idea to get it already out of there, because it's going to be way too bright. Okay, well, we're going to let this sit for a bit more, and when I return I will show you how to wash the thing. Yeah, that's a good idea. Alright, see you in a little bit then. Okay, well, now all the dyeing is done. I'm gonna make sure your yarn is cool, because otherwise it still can felt. I'm just gonna put all the stuff on the bottom of the sink, and just a little bit of strips back and forward. What I'm going to use for washing out my wool is just a little bit of shampoo. It's 2-in-1 shampoo, which only costs 99 cents at the local supermarket. And what is good for your hair is good for the yarn too, or the wool. So I'm going to squeeze them over, and it will makes it really soft. Now I'm going to put the water on there. Just make sure the water is room temp, because the yarn is as you did it good, it will be room temp too. So no squeezing or rapid movement, just pat it a little bit, and you can let it soak for a little bit like this. And if you're impatient like me, you kind of speed it up a bit. And if you can see that the water is clear, so there will be no bleeding after you did the spinning and you're going to knit something. You can hear people say, well, the stuff is still bleeding pigment or color, and if the dye is set alright, there will be no color in the water, and you won't be having any problems after using the fiber, that the color will get out of there. So now I'm removing some of the soap. You of course can use wool wash if you want to, because this is stuff I always got on hand, and it's not that expensive. It's actually very cheap. So let it drip out on that side. This is the nylon part. It's much brighter of color, and well, of course that won't felt, so you can squeeze it out as hard as you like. I think there's still soap in here. Give a little bit more of a rinse. And this is the result. It was the part that I put in there because there was still too much excess dye, and well, it absorbed the excess. But it did a good job, a very good job. This is the polyester or nylon. Last good rinse for the verven, and then it's going to go outside to dry, and it's going to fluff up again. And the difference with this, and if you braid it before you dye it, I think the braid will compact the fiber a bit more, and there will be more white spots where the dye couldn't get through. So that is fun if that's what you're looking for. And if you're not, this is a fun technique too, and as you could see, it's not really difficult, and you can't really make any big mistakes. It might not turn out exactly the way you want it. I've got here some white spot. That was not intentionally, but I don't have any problems with that. It will just blend in with the spinning. If you got a spin dryer or a salad spinner, you can get really much more water out of here. I can show you a little bit because it's right here with me. So this is my handy salad spinner. Put in the yarn. And it really speeds up your drying time. So we're going to see how much water is coming out. Yeah, well, that's not so very much, but you can always roll it into a big towel and then remove some of the excess. And yeah, just going to speed up a little bit. I'm going to put it outside to dry, and when it's dry I'm going to show you how it turned out. I think it looks pretty cool. So the yarn of the fiber is completely dry right now, so I'm going to show it to you. It really puffed up after it dried. So here it is. Purple section, the grey section, always make sure you put on a tag, because yeah, you really are gonna forget what kind of fiber it was. So here it is. I like to keep it like this, and yeah, just roll it up loosely, and yeah, it's ready to spin. But I can imagine you want to sell it, or maybe you want to store it for a longer period of time, and it's a bit messy like this. So I told you I'm going to tell you how to make a braid. So you start with a slip knot, and it's really like some kind of crochet chain you do. Just keep pulling the fiber through. And here's my tag. It's nicely in the way. You can, of course, do it as loose or as tight as you want. And then here it is. It turned out lovely, don't you think? So, you can always roll it up then. You got a nice fluffy ball of fiber. And I'm actually a bit pretty proud of it, because it turned out gorgeous. We did dye up some Firestar, but that is not ready by a long shot. It really holds the water much longer than the wool. But I did dye up some Firestar the same way we did, and it was yesterday, but that one is dry. It's just a massive roll. And it has the same way the color is progressing. Just, yeah, there are all kinds of colors in there. Lovely. And if it's laying in the sun, it's so very shiny. It's not showing up right here, but yeah, believe me, it is. So that is it for now, for this dyeing tutorial. I hope you liked it. I'm Yolanda from Sweet Kitty Crafts, and I hope to see you next time. Happy crafting!